Hello and welcome to the Miscast table. I'm Mons.
And I'm Jonas.
And today we're playing Warhammer Underworlds. It's Zarbag's Gitz against Khagras Ravagers.
Yeah. And for this time we want to focus a bit more on the competitive side of Warhammer Underworlds. So we each brought a warband that we are somewhat familiar with, and instead we wanted to get into the deck building aspect of Underworlds.
Like you said, we're delving into the more competitive side and the deck building. And both of us have quite a lot of experience from different kinds of card games. And for me, that's a big selling point of Warhammer Underworlds.
If you want to skip ahead, then you can use the bookmarks and get right into the game.
Otherwise, you can stick around and hear us talk more about the warbands and the deck list we have built. The deck lists are also posted in the description below for convenience. So, once again on this channel, this is the Zarbag's Gitz. I played them before, but today it's a bit more competitively. First of all, I'm going to use their superior movement and their ability to move many fighters at the same time with the help of Zarbag's ability Scurry and get as many supporting attacks and supporting defense rolls as possible. And if we look at the action cards, they're geared a lot towards gaining more movement, like pushing my own fighters, switching plays with Jonas' fighters. I also have some of the classic ones that give one more damage or one more wound to some attack. When we look at the glory cards, we have like Supremacy, Infestation, Dominant Position, very geared towards objective holding. Aside from that, I also have cards that focus around getting a lot of supporting attacks and keeping my fighters together, as well as taking some out of action. We have this one, for example, score this immediately after an activation if one or more enemy fighters are adjacent to two or more friendly fighters. This is quite easy with the warband like Zarbag's Gitz. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun game. I think this deck is pretty strong. I'm a bit worried about facing off against Khagras Ravagers because they are focused on desecrating objectives, and I built my deck around holding objectives. So it's gonna be a war, but I think I might be able to pull out the hat.
So today I'm playing Khagras Ravagers. Like last time, I feel like their ability to desecrate is really interesting. Being able to, regardless of whatever warband you're up against, deny objectives is usually a good thing. And as they are scoring their own glory points by doing such, it isn't really limiting your pace either. So for my game plan, I want to push every fighter into enemy territory. So depending on the rolls and who wins the setup rolls, I'm going to try to place as many objectives as possible in Mons' game half. I'm playing cards such as Fierce Conquerors and Hurricane of Violence, which awards glory points by putting my fighters into his territory or taking out fighters within his territory. I have a backup plan. I'm going to place my Sorcerer on my side of the game table, and if Khagra ever falls, I'm going to play some power cards and hopefully get him into the leader position. Because when I started playing this warband, I felt like Sarsia, the Sorcerer, were a bit weak. He didn't really have the dice rolls that I'm comfortable playing with, but after you have stacked a couple of upgrade cards on him, that really changes. And for upgrades, I'm looking to strengthen my fighters. I have plenty of cards that award additional wounds, because mostly I'm going to be combat oriented. I want to push my guys into melee, where they hit the hardest. There might be some cards that I have overlooked, so I'm looking to improving the deck over time, but I'm gonna try this out for this time and then we'll see how it goes.
So we start with a roll-off.
Yeah, sure.
4 dice this time.
Yeah. Oh, crit, proper.
Yeah. Crit, whole and half.
I'll try to see if I can beat it. No. Just half and double. Nothing.
Alright, so you get to choose the game board, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So time for roll off.
Time for a roll off. 2 double. 1 double, 2 hammers, 1 sword.
Yeah, so you
I luck out. I need to get my guys into your territory, so I'm gonna start by activating Kragan. I'm gonna make a charge action. He can move 3 hexes, so I'm gonna place him up here onto the objective.
And hit Bone Cracker, the squig.
Bone Cracker. I have 2 dice, I'm looking for hammers. I get 1 hammer.
Yeah, let's see. I have 1 defensive dice on Bone Cracker. And a shield that he needs a dodge. So he takes a hit.
Okay, then he takes 2 damage.
2 damage. Then Bone Cracker is dead.
Oh,
unfortunately.
Score 1 for the evil guys.
For the evil guys, yeah. Guess you could say that. Or do you want to play any cards?
Yeah, I want to play an action card. And I also want to use my guys' ability to desecrate. So I'm gonna put a desecration token over here.
Alright.
And then I would like to play Ravaging Advance. So I'm gonna put my Sorcerer over here. I'm gonna put Khagra 1 space forward. And then I'm gonna move Razek over here.
Now things get a bit more tricky. But I have some stuff I can do now. Let's get the Snirk Sourtongue into the action. He's gonna charge 1, 2 and use his ball and chain.
Yeah.
So he's 1 dice looking for swords. He gets a sword.
Gets a sword, 1 defensive die, looking for shields. Get dodge, doesn't.
It's 3 damage.
3 damage. Ouch.
He hits hard.
It's really
but he
hard.
only has 1 dice to roll for that. And then he gets inspired. Reaction. After an activation, this fighter becomes inspired.
Oh, then he gets troublesome. I know that.
Yeah, but I also want to push you out of the way.
Okay.
So I want to push you back here.
I'm gonna use Khagra and I'm gonna make a charge action with her as well. And I'm gonna go up here, 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to make a attack against your other squig with supporting attacks.
Yeah.
And I have knockback 1 and I'm looking for hammers.
What are you looking for?
Hammers, but I get hammer and crit.
Yeah, but let's see. The squig has 1 and he's looking for a dodge. He gets a dodge, but that's not good enough because of your crit, so...
Yeah. So I deal 3 damage. That should be sufficient to take him out of action.
So sad. so sad. Yeah, he's out of action.
And another glory points to the Core Knights.
I'm just gonna make a regular move action here. Risk it, the squid herder? Squig herder. And put him here.
I would like to use Mr. Bittersoul. And he has a Spite Tongue curse, meaning that I'm looking for lightning. And if I fail this one, he suffers a backlash damage.
Alright.
I'm gonna see if I can get in some damage. I get lightning and swirl.
Let's see what he gets. Nothing.
Nothing. Then he suffers a massive 1 damage.
Massive 1 damage. He can actually live through that.
Okay.
So I'm alright. But what I am going to do, if you're not going to play anything, is that I'm going to move Redcap. Redcap is going to charge here. So he charges, and because of the scurry ability, this guy follows. So now I have 2 objectives, and I'm making a charge action. So Redcap shoots.
Okay.
2 dice looking for swords. Nothing.
Nothing.
He gets nothing.
I lucked out.
Yeah, maybe so.
So I'm gonna go 3 hexes. And I'm going to attack your Netter. I don't know its name, but...
Krogda Netter.
Krogda Netter.
Netter is his last name, probably.
Then I have my Hellforged Axe, and I'm looking for hammers.
Yeah.
I get 1 hammer.
And the Netter has 1 defensive die. Oh, that's what I roll. So, how much damage does he take?
He takes 2 damage.
2 damage. Then he is out of action.
Okay.
Out of action. I have Swarming Advance. Choose one friendly fighter in enemy territory. Only have one this one. Push up to 2 friendly fighters 1 hex so they're closer to the chosen fighter.
Ah, okay.
So I'm pushing this here.
Yeah.
So he's getting closer. And I'm also pushing this guy. So he's getting closer. And after that, I'm gonna make a charge action with Zarbag. So he's charging in and hitting with his cursed sickle. So he has 3 dice looking for swords. I get 1 sword.
1 sword. You're hitting against Razek, God blessed. He has 1 defensive die and he needs a shield. He gets a shield, but you get to push me around.
I get to push you around.
Then we move into the objective part, unless you want to play any power cards.
No, I have nothing that I want to play.
Would you do the honors? Do you want to score anything first?
Should I do the honors?
Sure.
First of all, I have the supremacy. Score this in the end phase if you hold 3 or more objectives. 3 points. So that gives me 3 points.
And that means you get to inspire a whole bunch of goblins.
Yeah, so they inspire.
Yeah.
And I also have Mad Scurry. Score this in the end phase in at least 5 of your surviving fighters have made a move action in the preceding phase. And the last one I cannot score, but I'm scoring these.
Okay. I have so far only 1 to score. I have Magical Mark. Score this in an end step if a friendly wizard is holding an objective. And then we move into drawing new objectives and discarding.
Yes, we do. Do you want to play any upgrades?
Yeah, I kind of do.
You kind of do. But I'm gonna start play one.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna play Volley Caller. And this makes it so that my archers can fire together. And I'm gonna give it to Red Cap because he's in the front. And they're together. So now Red Cap has that one.
I have a few upgrade cards that I want to pile onto Khagra. I want to play Great Fortitude, adding 1 wound. I want to play Grudging Defense, this fighter is on guard. And I want to play Great Strength.
All on Khagra?
All on Khagra.
Yeah.
I might as well go for this one. I'm gonna play Gifted Sorcerer on Mr. Bittersoul, Sazia.
Alright.
It makes him re-roll 1 dice in this fighter's attack and spellcasting.
Yep. Alright. Then I'm going to draw new cards. Or I'm going to discard, first of all. So... And then I'm drawing 4 new cards. Let's make a roll-off.
Let's make a roll-off.
Yeah, you start.
Get 2 crits.
Good roll. I think, yeah. And that's not good enough.
Okay, then I would like to continue starting. I'm gonna activate Khagra and I want to hit Zarbag, so I'm gonna make a charge action. 2 dice, looking for hammers.
Alright.
Nothing.
Nothing. That's good. Very good for me. I think that I'm going for Sourtongue here. He's in a fun place.
Okay, bring out the scatter.
Action. Scatter. Scatter 4 away. We start the scattering. I start the scattering here. And then we see where it goes. It goes 1.
1 here.
Yeah.
And then
we'll see.
Swords. Okay, you might hit something yet. Ah!
Hammer, yes, it hits. So it's pushed back.
Okay.
And Zarbag ends. Or Sourtongue ends.
And if I'm not mistaken, I don't get any defensive, right?
You just take 1 damage.
I take 1 damage, and that means Kragan is out of action. Like
so he's out of action.
Roll.
Yeah, that's a pretty fun way to get him out of action. So I get another point, and one dude is out of action.
Okay. I'm going to use Razek this time. I'm gonna move him up ahead with a charge action. And I'm going to try to attack and take out Zarbag. But I need to get some hammers.
Need some hammers.
Get 1 hammer and 1 supporting. So.
Alright, and Zarbag has 2 defensive rolls. So he gets a shield, and no, that's not good enough.
Okay, but he doesn't take all that much damage. He takes 2 damage.
So he's still alive?
Yeah.
Still
And
alive.
I would like to drive him back 1 hex, get him so that he can't scurry with his friends.
That's not very nice.
And then I would like to play some action cards.
Alright.
I would like to play Rack the Land. I would like to pick 1 objective token in an empty hex. That is 1 hex close to this one, and then I'm gonna desecrate it.
Alright. That's not very good.
And then I would like to also play Colossal Blow. And the first range 1 or range 2 attack action made in the next activation phase has knockback 2. And then I would like to pick 1 objective token in the same hex as a friendly fighter, and then desecrate it.
Alright, so now you have a lot of desecrated objectives.
Yes, I have 3 desecrated objectives, and after this activation I'm gonna inspire my guys.
Yeah.
And to make things even better, I'm going to score a surge objective. Malevolent Exploits. Score this immediately after playing your 3rd or subsequent power card in a single power step.
Alright. that's a very, very
impressive round.
Yeah, very impressive turn, I must say.
And then I'm just gonna draw an additional objective card.
So let's see. I think I'm going to charge with Red Cap. They have a movement of 4. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shooting on the archer with his grot bow. Dibs also gets to do his attack. So we're resolving them once at a time. Nothing happens, but then we have his friend is also firing.
Another volley.
Yeah, another volley is coming. Hammers, nothing happens. No.
Oh, lucky.
So that's a bit sad.
I have the knockback special rule, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to use it. I just mainly wanted to have it there to make my surge objective last round. But I have 2 charge counters, so I'm just gonna make a regular attack action with Sarsia, and I'm going to have to use the wand and use 2 spell dice. And I'm gonna try to split up your party so that I can pick out the Red Cap so that you don't get all those extra actions each time you activate it.
Alright.
So I'm looking for lightning. Get 2 swirls, and then since I fail, I'm gonna suffer backlash.
Alright.
I'm gonna place 1 damage. Sarsia.
And I know Khagras is really tough.
Yeah, 5 health, 2 defensive die, and inspired.
But in the end of your turn, I'm gonna play this one. Little 1. 1 plus dice, the first attack action made by a friendly fighter in the next activation. And then I'm charging with Zarbag. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's hitting with his cursed sickle. 3 dice, looking for swords. He gets nothing.
Oh, lucky me. So the only thing I can do, it's a bit boring, but I'm gonna repeat what I did last time and see if I can cast some lightning on the Red Cap. So I'm looking for lightning. I get crit, so even better.
Crit against Red Caps.
Yeah.
But he can defend himself with a crit.
He gets it. I don't really want to put you on the objective, and it doesn't really matter where I put you, but I can place you a bit further away at least.
Yeah. So in my final activation, I'm gonna take a chance here, I think. I'm gonna use Sour Tongue again.
Okay.
So we put him like this.
Please don't kill me. Hammer, okay.
Half. Let's go. Hammer.
Sword.
No.
Hammer, okay. So
he ends up here. Do have something I want to play. Confusion. Choose 2 fighters that are adjacent to each other and switch them.
okay.
So I'm switching places with you.
Okay.
And in the end of this activation, this becomes undesecrated.
Then we move into the scoring phase.
Yes, we do.
Would you like me to start this time?
I have nothing to score, so you can start this time.
I have a pretty good turn. I have Erased Realm. Score this in an end phase if there are 2 or more desecration tokens. And lucky me, there still are. And on the Dark Road, score this in an end step if 1 or more surviving friendly fighters have 3 or more upgrades. And that's why I piled everything on Khagra. And finally, Ravagers all, score this on an end step if each surviving friendly fighter is inspired.
Yes. Well done, my friend.
Piling on.
I'm not scoring anything, and I'm discarding 2 of my. And then I'm drawing 2 new ones. So then I'm gonna play some upgrades. I'm gonna start with the Amber Bone Dagger. And it's like this: if there's 1 or more crits in the attack roll, this attack action has cleave, and if the attack action takes an enemy out of action, discard this card and gain a glory point.
Okay, that sounds really nice.
And I'm gonna, it's a bit weird, but I'm gonna put it on red cap.
Okay.
But I have my reasons.
Yeah, he's in a good position on the board, so.
Yeah, other than that, I'm also gonna play Formless Key on Direchasm. And if this fighter is holding an objective in the end of the 3rd phase, score 1 glory point. And to make sure that he can hold this objective, I'm going to play Scavenged Armor. You cannot give this upgrade to a fighter in your territory, and when you give this upgrade to a fighter, give that fighter 1 guard token, plus 1 wounds.
And Funny should play Scavenged Armor, because I kind of want to play that one as well. The guard token isn't gonna give me nearly as much benefit, but I'm gonna give it to Razek for 1 glory point spent.
Alright.
Then I'm out of cards, and I'm gonna draw 5 new ones.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I'm drawing 5 new cards.
Should we make the roll-off for the final?
Yep. I'm gonna be rolling first.
Yeah. Anything.
That beats it on the
Okay.
end. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
I want to have the last activation, so I'm gonna give you the...
You're gonna give me the honors.
Yeah.
Thank you, my friend. I'm going to charge with red cap. He's going 1, 2, 3, and this guy is obviously following.
Yeah.
And I'm hitting him with the blade.
Okay.
The Amber Bone Dagger. So I'm rolling 3 dice, looking for swords. But I have a supporting attack, and that counts.
Yeah. So I have 1 defensive.
Alright.
But I'm hoping for a crit.
That's not good enough.
That's not good enough.
Then it takes 2 damage.
2 damage is what he has left.
Yeah. And if this attack action takes an enemy fighter out of action, discard this card and gain 1 glory point.
Oh, nice.
So I'm gaining 1 for killing him, and then I'm gaining another shitty one, but it's worth the same.
Would you like to play some power cards?
I would like to play this at least. Surge. Score this immediately after a friendly fighter's attack action takes an enemy fighter out of action if the friendly fighter had 1 or more supporting fighters.
Oh, okay, cool.
Orchestrated kill.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna gain 1 more.
Funny pun, orchestrated.
Yeah. Yeah. Orchestrated. Yeah, that's actually, I didn't think about that.
I'm gonna go for Mighty Swing. I have my first attack action with the range characteristic of 1, targets all adjacent enemy fighters.
Then I play Sidestep. Choose 1 friendly fighter and push them 1 hex.
Okay. So then I have to make a charge action if I want to use there.
Yeah, you can't use attack.
Now I'm going to use Khagra. I'm going to make a charge action, and then I'm going to hit with my Demon Bound Mace.
Alright, and now you're hitting all adjacent fighters.
Yeah, I'm going to roll for each one separately. I'm going to need some hammers if this one is going to work. Hammer crit.
Hammer crit. Which one do you start against?
Should we randomize it? Like,
yeah. If it's a lightning bolt, it's Zarbag, and if it's a swirl,
and crit we reroll.
So lightning, it's against Zarbag.
Yeah.
He rolls 2 dice. Shield doesn't help him very much.
Okay, then he takes 4 damage to the head.
Then he takes 4 damage. Reaction, play this after an enemy fighter attack action takes an adjacent friendly fighter out of action. Their attacker suffers 1 damage.
Okay, so payback time.
Yeah, so Fungal Blessing.
I'm gonna score a glory point. I'm gonna need these ones because I feel like you're gonna stack them up plenty in the end game.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to hit, I don't know his name. Is it Dibs or is it...
It's... which one is this? This is Stick It.
Stick It is gonna get it.
Yeah.
Hammer, looking for hammers. 2 hammers.
2 hammers. He also has 2 dice. Looking for double crit.
Okay.
He's a tough guy. I just think I'm gonna move him out of harm's way, pretty much. I'm moving him here. Just a regular move action.
Okay. Then I'm going to do 4 hexes.
Oh, he can move that far?
Yeah.
Then I'm shooting him and hoping to knock him back.
Okay.
So we have Stick It. He rolls 2 dice with his crossbow.
Oh,
Crit.
And I'm gonna need a crit as well. Don't get it.
Yeah, so I knock him back.
And you deal some damage.
Hit him for 1.
Hit him
Very,
for
very
down.
strong bow he has.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was my 3rd activation, and in the end of that one I'm going to play No Time. No more power cards can be played until after the next activation.
Okay. In my 3rd activation, I'm just going to discard an objective card and then draw a new objective card.
My final activation, and I don't have much to do. I'm just gonna shoot with Drisket for the fun of it. He can't kill anything, but I'm just attacking with him. I'm making an attack action, 2 sword, nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Yeah.
Okay, then I would like to play a power card in this step. Yeah, I'm gonna do it like this. It's more worth for me to have your guy alive. It's a bit weird, but I'm gonna push your guy 1 hex.
Alright.
And going into my activation phase, I am going to, instead of attacking, I am going to discard an objective card once more and draw a new one. And that's it for round 3.
Yeah. That's it for round 3. Instead of attacking with Drisket, I should have a discard drawn and discarded. But I should score first.
Yeah.
So first here I have dominant position. Score this in end phase if your warband holds more objectives than any other warband. And I do. So I get 2.
Okay.
And after that I'm going to score as well. This one, aggressive display. Score this in an end phase if 2 or more fighters are out of action, or if more friendly fighters each have 2 or more attack upgrades. And of course he is alive and he's standing on an objective, which is this one, the formless key. If this fighter is holding an objective in the 3rd end phase, score 1 glory point.
Okay, so that's quite a streak of cards at the end.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can keep up, but I'm gonna have some additional points going in. I'm gonna play Glorious Slaughter. That's 2 for having 3 or more enemy fighters out of action.
Yep.
I feel like this one is so easy to score against the Zarbags.
Yeah, it's like built for playing against Zarbag yet.
Then I'm gonna play Unafraid, and that's the reason I pushed your guy. Score this on an end step if each surviving friendly fighter is within 2 hexes of 1 or more enemy fighters. And unfortunately I can't really make the comma up with my last card, because I would have needed 1/3 fighter staying alive.
Let's count them up. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13.
13 here as well.
You're also at 13?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a tie.
It's a tie.
Good game.
Yeah, good game.
It was a bit
Congratulations.
closer than I thought it would be.
Well, first of all, it's thank you for a good game.
Yeah.
And
it
it's
was really fun this time.
Yeah, it was really fun, and it's also the first tie that we've had.
Yeah.
13 to 13.
each round mattered. If I had gotten one more activation, or if you had gotten one more activation, you would have taken it.
Yeah, well, it was a very, very tight game. We scored a lot of different objectives. I got kind of lucky that I got my hold objectives glory card in the beginning of the game. The longer the game progresses, the more difficult it gets, because I lose a lot of my fighters very quickly, but also because you desecrate the objectives.
Yeah, but I think you did a smart move you had your Zarbags, the Gitz herder, or the Squig herder, I don't know what you heard, but placing him onto that objective meant that you always had him like holding one objective for you.
I think you played very well, and I'm surprised it was that even. I felt for a while there in the middle like, this is not gonna end well for me, but it turned out alright. And we should tell to everybody that this sour time we played the scatter mechanic. We made a mistake, but we realized just after the game that we've made that mistake. So
realizing it makes him even stronger, because the way we played scatter tile, and then we rolled for each time the tile moved.
Yeah.
But you're basically meant to roll all scatters at the same time, and then you can chain them together.
Yeah. So that makes
giving
him a lot
you much
stronger.
more control.
Yeah. And I think he was fun as is, but this actually makes him quite useful, I must say. And we said today we weren't going to make any rule mistakes, but it's a new mistake. It's not an old mistake.
And it's a learning experience. We play, we have fun, we collect, and we get better over time.
Do you have any MVPs? What went really well? What didn't go as well?
I kind of felt like my warband came together the way I wanted. I had my Chaos Warriors up front, Khagra, every one of them were moving into your territory. My Sorcerer stayed behind. This time he fell a bit short. He didn't really manage to do anything. Each time he cast a spell he did 1 damage, and that's not really enough. But MVP definitely Khagra. She came through with all those upgrades piled on her. She hit really, really hard.
Yeah.
And having a base stat of 3 damage on your regular attack is so good.
Yeah, I had a glory card or objective card which was gonna take a fighter with at least 2 upgrades out of action.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it, but I couldn't find a way to actually kill her. So I just realized I'm not gonna score this. I just gave up.
What do you feel about the goblins? Do you have any? I think there were plenty of key.
Yeah, I mean, Red Cap, he did work, both with the dagger, but he's not like a special character, but I think all of the movement things I talked about in the beginning, like I played a lot of the action cards, and a lot of I swapped them around, I pushed them, gained a lot of movement by doing so, and I also managed to move the archers together and fire them together, so I think that the archers are stronger than meets the eye, because they shoot 3 hexes, 1 damage, doesn't seem like a lot, but together they're quite impactful.
Yeah. And like being able to put them together in one group and then scurry them onto an objective and then have them just fire away from there. They can do multiple things.
Yeah, with a movement of 4 and a range of 3, you have a reach of 7 squares basically.
Yeah.
So that's they do work. I think my worst player is Zarbag. He was basically stuck with Khagra and the gang in the back there.
Yeah, but it's no shortcoming of his rather than Khagra being able to, for once, roll properly.
I know this is game and all, but this Khagra against this guy in real actual combat probably wouldn't end well for the goblin.
It might turn out exactly the way it did in our game.
Yeah.
I feel you might have a different opinion, but I feel like regardless of whatever unit I kill for you, whatever fighter I take out of action, you always have like something to do.
Yeah.
Because the weakness with this warband is after the second fighter is taken out of action, you have a really, really hard time to get the final rounds moving properly.
Yeah, you get severely limited when you lose a few, and like with Zarbag, that's why I think they're so fun, because you always have to think on the fly. I mean, you have a plan from the beginning. I was planning to go in with these 3 guys and use them like a battering ram and deal some damage. And the first thing that happens is both of these dies, because they're so easy to kill. And I need to rethink my entire game plan. And there's never a shortage of options. There's almost always something you can do.
Yeah.
And So you have to change your game plan multiple of times along in the time of one game, but that what makes it fun. I think that's what makes this program
I agree.
really fun.
I kind of like that playstyle as well. Like when you can have like one game plan, but then you nudge it in different directions as the game progresses. What do you think about deck building? Did it really impact our game, or was it like?
It did. I think it made a lot of difference. I think that in a lot of the other games we played with only like the standard decks, you draw 5 cards and you're like, oh, I can't really play any of these. Like sometimes it's like that. And when you build the deck and it's more optimized, you always have stuff to play. You always have objectives that you can score, and I think the game becomes a lot more fluid and a lot less stale. What's your opinion?
Yeah, I'm leaning about that as well. One of my key issues when playing this warband straight out of the box was that there were so many upgrade cards that basically did nothing. Like one of the upgrade cards gave a fighter magic immunity, doesn't really come into play ever. And multiple of the actions are like suited into playing ploy or gambit cards that increase the damage potential, but as these guys already have quite high damage potential at the start, it's not really what you want to do always, so they become a bit situational.
You get very limited very quickly if you don't have all the warbands. I'm gonna buy them all anyway, but like for someone who doesn't like collecting them all, it's quite difficult to get into like competitive Warhammer Underworlds, unfortunately.
Yeah, I feel like you probably have to play it really smart and like quickly read up online if you want to build a competitive warband so that you don't have to buy everything. It's fun experimenting, but I feel like Games Workshop, they know what they are doing when they are pushing their
but
it feels intentional.
Yeah, of course it's intentional, but but it goes both ways, and they probably calculated all of that, but I think the game is great.
That said, as you already mentioned, the game is great. I mean, like having access to every single last action card to optimize your deck isn't really that important. No, there's always that random factor to drawing cards and
unless you're playing like at a competitive like tournament level, local tournament and stuff, it doesn't really matter. As if you're just playing with friends, it's not a problem. But with that, I have to thank you once again for a great game. That's all from us at the Miscast table, and we'll see you all next time.